Hello. Who's here?
Hello.
That's Jimmy.
It is I,
Oh my
Robin Jimmy.
gosh. The
There's
real
no
Jimmy.
spooky ghost here today. It's
Not
just
this
us
time.
two and everyone watching. All
I give you
right, so
permission. It's okay. You can watch.
you may watch. This is a public video. Um, so as you can probably guess, based off of the OneNote and not anything else, we're doing another half day.
Woo.
Um, the tail end of day whatever the previous one was, I believe 16,
I believe.
had a lot of important information because it introduced the TEV form,
Hmm.
and we need to really make sure that we start getting a good handle on that, especially because like adjectives are one of those things that we're going to be um, using a lot.
They'll never stop.
Um, hey Rav, I think
Yeah.
you can stop sharing
Okay.
your screen on Discord.
Let me get there. Let me get there. I've tricked my brain. Frankly, I don't even think
Yeah,
I
just
acknowledged
because
that I
I
was.
can,
Did that work?
just
Is
because I can
everything
hear
still where it
myself.
needs to
Yeah.
be? All right.
Okay. All right. Sorry about that.
You're
Didn't
good.
really think about that before we started. So what I would like to do is briefly run through past tense conjugations and just do a handful of words to get the flow back into it, and have some refresher before we move on to TEF form, because I want to show how we can use TEF form in different kinds of sentences, and we need to be able to do this in order for that part of the exercise. Okay.
Okay.
So just as a refresher here for past tense stuff, with our e adjectives, we need to manipulate this e at the end
Hmm.
to kata. And this is just for like positive past tense. Okay.
Okay.
And then for past tense na adjectives and nouns, they do the same thing. We just change that des into deshita. Okay.
Hmm.
That applies for both. For negative e adjectives, we need to get the base form into the negative form on its own, which is just kunai, so that e becomes kunai. But
Okay.
this last e in kunai follows the same conjugation rules as just a typical past tense e adjective. So like up here, it's e changing to kata, right?
Hmm.
This last e is also just changing to kata once we have it in this form. So tanoshi, tanoshikunai, that last e in kunai, tanoshikunakata. It's kind of a
Kunakata.
mouthful,
Yeah.
but you know, it is what it is.
Okay.
And then I have the asterisk here for the adjective e, just because it kind of does its own thing. Remember, it becomes yo, and then whatever the conjugation form is, and not like this first e. So that's all that's going on
Yokata.
there. Hmm.
Okay.
And I guess this is still just supposed to be e. And then on negative past tense, like nouns and adjectives, it's just the same. I mean, like we just add deshita, sorry, because it goes like negative form is just jarimasen, just
Hmm.
on its own, and we just slap on a deshita. Okay.
Okay. Jarimasen deshita.
Yeah. All right. So I'll run through this first one just to get the ball rolling. All of these top ones are going to be positive. All the bottom ones are going to be negative. So yasui is cheap. Let me move my keyboard over.
Mm.
There we go. That feels better on my hands and wrists. Yasui, we need to change that last E. So according to our little list over there on the right, we
Hmm.
start off the same. Yasu. Why is it bold? Whatever. And
I
then we
ask
need to change
myself
that
that
E to
sometimes.
kata. Yeah.
E goes to kata.
E goes to kata for the E adjectives.
Okay.
Okay. So we'll do kire next.
All right. Same deal here. Um,
Well, yeah, what kind of adjective is kire?
this is This is also an E adjective, correct?
No, this one's a non-adjective. The E
Oh,
here is
okay.
acting, yeah, it's acting as a vowel extension, so it'd be like kire instead of kirei.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Not adjectives. Not adjectives. Could you? Oh, okay. I see. The like third highlighted item. Um, kire. Does that does that go to kire deshita?
Yeah,
Okay.
kire deshita. And I'll add on the des here.
Okay.
Um, yeah, do keep in mind, I forgot to mention this, that in E adjectives, the kata bit is the thing notating past tense. We do not change the des. The des stays the same.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Samui.
All right. Samui. This is an E adjective.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Um. So that's going to samu katta desu.
はい。そうですね。寒かった。
And then
All
E
right, with E.
itself
Mm-hmm.
is a little different, right?
Yeah.
This is going to yokatta desu.
はい。よかったです。Okay. 静か。
Shizuka is an adjective, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Um so this is going to Shizu Shizuka deshita?
Yep. 静かでした。正解です。Why is this? Tables, sometimes, like, the thing that I love OneNote, but the one thing that it really just can't sort out is, like, keeping fonts consistent, so
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
lovely.
like paste without formatting is like a pain point for me in OneNote sometimes.
Yeah. Alright, last one here for, positive past tense. We
All
have
right.
atsui.
Atsui, and this is hot or warm, right?
Mhm.
Okay. Um I'm gonna based off of the idea that Samui behaves this way, and maybe that's not a great way to structure my thoughts. Um, but I'm going to say we're going to go Atsu katta desu.
はい、
Okay, it does work.
正
Okay,
解
all
で
right,
す。Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it functions the same way because they're both E adjectives,
okay,
right? That's yeah.
all right, all right.
All right. Um, moving on here, we have negative. So if it makes it if it helps, especially with E adjectives because there's like two steps kind of involved.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we can break it down first into just the kunai bit and then into past tense. Whatever, however you want to do it. As long as we get to the answer, that's all I care about.
Okay, okay. This is not a math class. Very nice. All right.
So we have omoshiroi.
Mm-hmm. Moshiroi ends in E. I don't think it's a na. Um,
Hmm.
hold on. I'm looking at the like past tense noun chart. Um,
Yeah, I wasn't sure if I want to do like positive and negative. I just grouped it up, or positive first and then negative second.
okay,
It's split up between E adjective up here and then non adjectives down here.
okay. Um,
Would it make more sense to split them between positive and negative for you?
I I think it might. I think it might. I won't lie.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
all good. I just wasn't too sure. Okay, there we go.
Okay. Um, past tense negative e. Um, so we're taking
Yeah, we're taking that last E. And we're
omoshiro. We're getting omoshiro kunai, and then
mhm.
omoshiro kunakatta desu.
はい。We were just dealing with spacing stuff.
Mhm.
If I don't go down. If I move this over, hmm,
That's still you're still in the
this should
clear here
probably be
by a
fine.
good bit.
Okay. Cool. All right. Takai.
All right. Um, Takai. This is a na.
Takai is an E adjective.
Is an e. Okay. Um. Okay. So then we take the e at the end, transform that to kunai. I said transform instead of transform. Um, takakunai, and then to takakuna kata desu.
はい。たかくなかったです。はい、正解。次。
All right.
にぎやか。
All right. All right. And this is a na, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, this
All
is
right.
definitely one of the easier ones to identify.
All right. We're back in. What do we do to fellas like that? Past tense negative na adjective. Um, jarimasen deshita. On like the model on the right hand side, right? Are we
Okay.
are we just appending the jarimasen deshita straight onto it?
Yeah, because like
Okay.
present tense negative is just jarimasen.
Mm-hmm.
So we just slap deshita.
Okay. I was like, I didn't remember if we needed to do anything to any of the trailing sounds at the end or not. I was like, is this assuming there was already a step done there, or is it what it looks like?
Yeah, it is just that.
Okay.
Jarimasen. So yeah, 賑やか jarimasen でした。Mouse, it is. Okay, we'll do E next.
Okay. And E's on the watch list. Um, yo, what do we do? Um, yokunai, and then
Mhm.
yokuna kata.
はい、良くなかったです。大変
Taihen. This is a noun, correct?
This is a not adjective.
This is a non-adjective. Okay. Um, then Taihen jarimasen deshita.
Yeah. This is just going to have to bleed over into the next line. And that's going to be okay.
We'll consider it
Whatever.
a learning curve because eventually things just do this, right? It is not a bug. That's how the language is supposed to work, right?
Yeah, I mean, eventually this will be shortened because it's just like and the rest of that, but yeah.
Yeah, we gotta unlock that feature. Um,
はい、最後、大きい。
okay. This is an e.
Mhm.
Okay. Um, oki kuna kata desu.
そうですね。大きくなかったです。 Yeah, the
Okiku
even to this day, I don't know what it is with my
The kiku
mouth. The kiku, I get like locked up during this
to
for some
this
reason. It's like
day.
double K consonants. I just want to stop, and
Mhm.
it messes me up a lot.
It's
But
crunchy. That's where we get the
anyway,
word crunchy. We get that.
yeah, I think there feels like more stuff going on with the negative conjugations, especially with e adjectives, because we just have to remember, it's based off of this kunai business.
Mhm.
But yeah, okay. So now that we got that bit of review in, we're gonna move on to reviewing what was going on with the last day. So let me readjust the order here. And hopefully I can put sentences in one line since it will be slightly smaller font. Tev form is really, really simple. It just for both, honestly. There's not a lot of going on. So with e adjectives, just as a review, this is the wrong bit. Let me change this. How did that happen? There we go.
Things
That
happen every
last
day.
e. So yeah, the unfortunately, um, similar to the kunai bit, we are modifying that e. We're replacing that e with just kute. That's all we do.
Okay.
And this does once again apply to nai. So because we just conjugate that last e in nai as an e adjective. So like the nai would be nakute. I just didn't put that here, but keep that in mind.
Say that one more time. I'm
Um,
sorry.
yeah. So here I'll focus in on here. So what's going on with nai?
Mhm.
We are able to conjugate nai in the same way that e adjectives are, generally speaking. So that's why here the e in kunai becomes kata,
Okay.
similar to how the e up here in like tanoshi just becomes kata.
Okay.
Tanoshi,
Okay.
tanoshikatta, tanoshikunai, tanoshikunakatta, right?
Okay.
And that's because we're able to conjugate the nai in the same way.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean I can add it as an example here. So
Yeah.
I'll
If it,
just
it does, if it doesn't hurt to have them on the same screen real estate.
yeah. I'll do this. Kunai. Na, nakute.
Nakute.
Yeah, so it's just that last e in kunai becomes kute, the same way it does for positive tense.
Okay. The second one's negative.
Second one's negative, yes.
Okay. Would you
Mhm.
mind labeling that as well?
Um,
Just right beside it is fine. I think.
yeah. I kind of don't want to because the kunai should. Yeah, I'm not going to because
Okay.
the
Okay.
kunai should be the thing that notates its negative.
Okay. Okay.
I want that to kind of
Cement itself.
starting to get recognized. Yeah.
Okay.
And then the uh for nouns and non-adjectives, because like I always say, when it comes to conjugation, nouns and non-adjectives almost always follow the same rule. After the whatever the word it is, after the noun or that non-adjective, you just add de. There's no modifying the word or anything. It's just de,
Okay.
and then you're good.
So side.
Yeah. And yeah, this is the noun one because like I couldn't immediately um think of like what else we're using as a noun for descriptions.
Mhm.
But I just remembered like age was one of them that
Years.
they used. Yeah, and you just add de, and same with like kire de. That's all.
Okay.
All right. So we're gonna write full sentences over here. I'll probably have to split the lines again. But the top word is the thing that we're gonna be describing, and then our adjectives of choice are written here in English. So we'll need to do some vocab recall to write all of these sentences.
Okay. Let's see what we can do. Is that first
Yeah.
word? Is that hotel? Hoteru?
Yep. Hoteru.
All
Mm-hmm.
right. All right. And then furoi for old.
Yep.
Um, and we're putting it through the process here. Is it a na? I can't recall.
Or which
For
one?
old, for furoi,
Uh,
or is it an e?
it's a furui, I think.
Furui. Sorry, sorry.
Sorry. Yeah, yeah.
Um, I guess the same question is still there because I think it is, but I'm not sure.
Um, it is an e adjective,
It is an e. Okay. Um.
and like I would start trying to get in your mind that if it ends in e, that's an e adjective,
Okay.
and try and keep track of the ones that are more so vowel extensions, which are not adjectives, right?
Okay. Like in my mind, like I have it as like you just need to memorize what's a na, and maybe that's not true. Um.
I mean, yeah, you could do it that way,
Okay.
right? It's just like if you see it in hiragana, because some not adjectives have e, uh, those are just the ones that are not adjectives. Like kire ends in e, but that's not kirei, right?
Hmm. Okay.
It's a vowel extension. Like down here where I'm highlighting kire, it's not kirei, kire, and that's
Okay.
why it's a not adjective. Hmm.
Okay. Um.
Or at least that's why the e in it does not mean it's an e adjective.
I
If that
see.
makes sense.
I think that does.
Yeah.
Um. Furoi. It's an e. So. Uh. We just turn that into kute.
Hmm.
Okay. Hoteru wa
はい。
furokute desu.
Old and not
Oh,
clean.
and okay. I didn't know if it was like they're kind of synonyms. I'm like old and dingy. I guess have an association.
Oh,
Um.
yeah. As a reminder, te form is what's indicating like and. This is
Okay.
how
Okay.
we conjugate
That
things
I
to
did need
serve
that
as a
reminder.
conjunction. I forgot I forgot to bring that up.
Okay. Cool.
That is the important bit. So we're saying old and not clean, kind and helpful, so on and
All
so
right.
forth.
What I want to do, kire kunai.
Ide is a not adjective, so
Okay. I got a little, but like I am saying not clean, and I'm using kire as the negation, right?
yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So we're saying kide, we just need to turn this into negative,
Okay. Um.
which I don't think I have explicitly listed.
Okay. Kire. I wanna do Janai, but I don't think that's right.
So if I would be fine with that. It's just they haven't talked about using janai instead of ja'arimasen.
Mm. Okay.
But it would just be, yeah, it would
Kire
just be
jarimasen.
ja'arimasen. Yeah. So 全部の読んでください。
はい。ホテルは古くて綺麗じゃありません。
はい。そうですね。
Okay.
Okay. Uketsuke. And in this case, I'm gonna we're gonna mean like the receptionist, like a hotel receptionist.
Say that word again.
Uketsuke.
Uketsuke. Okay. Uketsuke.
So they are kind and helpful. And like in this case, helpful, convenient.
Okay. Hmm.
They kind of follow
Yeah,
the
the vocab
um
filtering. Shoot.
yeah.
Um, do I want to go with kire again? Is that still one of the words we'd want to use here?
No.
That because that's more so cleanliness than just like generally nice, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Shoot.
Yeah, like
Shoot.
nice kind.
Yeah. Oh man. There's like
If we pull up
a million
our
exercises come up. They're not interesting. They're not funny. They're nice. Samashi?
if
Shoot.
we pull up our Akamonkai weekly sheet page, it is nice and filtered, and in the adjectives,
Wait,
kind is
where
shinsetsu.
is this page?
Yeah, so like if you can see this here,
Okay.
like you should probably star this. I'll send you the link
Okay,
again.
okay. Yeah. I was gonna say I don't think I have this on the general drive.
Yeah.
I probably
Go
should.
ahead and star that because it's the only way things that get shared with me stay easily findable
Okay.
when I want it again.
Star,
Um,
Ringo Star. Okay.
yeah,
Um,
shinsetsu is kind
Shinsetsu. I
in this
actually don't
case.
know that I would have gotten to this. I'm gonna be honest. Um, Shinsetsu. Okie doke.
So this is a non-adjective.
Mm-hmm.
So what would we do
This
with
is
that?
helpfully labeled on this sheet. Um, te form and not adjective. We just put a de on it.
Yep.
Yep, easy. Shinsetsu de. And then the other word, helpful. Helpful slash convenient. Uh, helpful.
And if you don't see it in 1 through 10, it's probably in the next day or next section of days.
Okay. Shoot. Hold on. I'm
This
navigating
one,
drives
I'll
now.
help you out here.
All right.
This one's Benny.
Vanity. Ah, shoot. There's a in the show Golden Time. I don't know if we've ever discussed this or not. There's a character whose family name is Benry, and they make a million references to this. He's like, oh, you know me, I'm always so helpful. Vanity. All right. Vanity, and the second one, I'm not necessarily doing te things too because I've already said and. I'm just putting it in the correct tense. Correct?
Yeah, we're just finishing out the sentence now. Yep.
Okay. Uh, Benry, ends in a re, not well. It's hmm. It's the e sound that we're basing things off of, not the character itself. Correct?
No, you
No.
just add des. It's
Okay.
just des. And the end of our
That's
sentence
all
is
right.
des. Yeah.
All right.
And then if we were
Maybe I don't
turning
need
this
to
to a full
overthink this here.
sentence,
Um.
yeah, we just needed that particle. So, full sentence.
All right, and that
Onegaishimasu.
was suke kewa.
Uh, okay. Yeah, this is actually a good example for how to separate the two because we have u and we have tsu, right?
Okay. U uke tsuke wa uketsuke.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Uketsuke wa shinsetsu de benri desu.
はい。正解です. Okay.
Suke. Shoot. First one is su, right? This is the sound I'm going for.
No.
Uketsuke. Uketsu. Heck. All right.
It's funny because like you read this correctly,
It's because the
right?
vowel feels right here, right? But I'm looking at the first word and I'm like, that could start with a vowel. And then I get twisted.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
The cat.
What is
The cat.
what is What do you think this is?
I was like, you wouldn't write Neko in Katakana, so what's going on here? I'm like, what do you write? Big? Big of a cat? What is this?
This first character is she.
She Shige?
Shiza.
Oh my. Okay, I was like, what cats in what fictional cats? Not fictional cat, real cat. It's probably by the door right now. She's wa,
はい。
and he's is Chisai what we would want to go with here?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, okay, Chisai, and then
So we need to turn that into te form.
Chisakute.
はい。小さくて、
かわいいです。
はい。かわいいです。
It's
そう
true.
です
It's
ね。
true. He's fluffy.
OK。もう一度
はい。
読んでください。
シーザーは小さくてかわいいです。
はい。そうですね。小さくてかわいいです。
Is
OK。
there...
神社。あ、はい。
Hold on.
何
Sorry. Like, would it be... This is not an alternate version of saying toll for ant. Like, it would be incorrect to say, like, chisai to kawaii.
Correct.
Okay.
That would be, and that would,
Just
you are
poor
correct.
grammar.
saying toll would be incorrect.
All right. Got it. All right. Jinja. This is a shrine, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Ka quiet. Shizuka,
Mhm.
and then I guess I'm Kire for beautiful? No.
Mhm.
Yes?
That's fine.
Okay. Shizuka. Shizuka's a na, right?
Mhm.
Okay. No, it's not. We just put de.
Yep.
De kire this.
はい。
All right.
And then in a full sentence.
Jinja Shizuka de kire desu.
For making it a full sentence, we need one last bitty here.
Is there... Oh, we need a wa.
Wa.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
I was like
yeah.
looking at it and I'm like, this does feel wrong. Which I'm glad there's some instinct is there, like this is not complete.
Yeah. 神社は静かで綺麗です。
All right.
Okay. So, one thing that I haven't mentioned yet,
Mhm.
that will be important for these next two ones is that when we are dealing with like tenses, the end of the sentence is always going to be the thing that notates what tense we're speaking in. Okay.
Interesting. Okay.
So, what that means is that to turn a past tense sentence uh, into like something where we can use the te form, we don't turn the first thing into past tense and then into te form. We only do the last one into te form to notate what the tense is. Okay. So everything that we're doing with the word where we're transforming it into te form, we do like we have been so far.
Okay.
That's all. Yeah. This one is Tokyo Skytree. Skytree. That was awkward to say. Yeah.
Tsukai Turi.
So just to make this shorter.
All
Tokyo
right.
Skytree.
Wa.
Why did it do that? I'm just gonna do that. Hi. Tokyo Skytree wa. And then
Tall. Takai.
Yep.
Don't think this is a na.
Yep.
Takakute. And
And
then
scary's ko wai.
kowai. And then
And we're turning this into past tense.
okay. Kuta kawa kuta desu? Kata, excuse me.
Yeah. Kawakatta.
I wanted to carry over that same like ku sound. Okay. Tokyo Sky Tree. So wait, hold on. Let me break down the Sky Tree bits a little.
Mhm.
Su ka to, and then this is the sound adjuster. Is that right? The smiley face.
This one's E,
Okay.
and this is just Su.
This is just Su.
Yeah.
All right. Su always looks to the left, as Doctor Moku says. Okay.
Yeah. Well, and with like with a T, right?
Okay.
So
With
like
Su.
Su.
Okay.
Yeah, because this is S Su.
Su, and then this is Su. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Suka. All right. Oh, okay.
Sukai.
I was looking at the wa afterwards. I'm like, what katakana is that? All right. And then the right ear. Very good.
Yeah.
Okay. Sukai tori wa
Sukai tsuri. It's
suri
not to.
suri. Okay.
Yeah. It is kind of awkward to
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
I want to say tori, but I
Hmm.
feel you on that.
I feel it in me bones. Me bones. Excuse me. I didn't say that right.
Yeah.
Takakute. Takakute. Does that feel?
Mm-hmm.
Is that more natural? Takakute.
Yep.
Okay.
Takakute. Hai.
Kowai katta desu.
Yeah, just be careful. There's no extra E here. It's just
Okay.
kowakata.
Kowakata. Okay.
Yeah, because the E transformed into the kata.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, but once again, just notice that this, even though this whole thing is still in the past tense, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So when you're reading
It
things,
is.
keep that in mind.
It is no longer tall and scary. I shortened it and I made it cute.
And it's still Tef form, still base Tef form, but the end of the sentence is what's telling us that this is past tense.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. And then our last one.
All right. This first character is this Ri?
Close. This one's Ri.
Is that Re?
And like Tsuri. Yeah, this is
Okay,
the
the restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I hope you didn't base that off of just the first character, but
I
you
mean,
are correct.
I won't lie to you. Kind of did. I'm like the rest would all make sense if this was an R sound.
I knew it. I knew it.
As long as
Read
I
the
get,
whole word.
well, I mean, you gotta start somewhere. Restaurant wa expensive. Also takai.
Yep.
Oishi.
What do we need to do to Takai?
Oh, that's right. Takai. Is this came up earlier. This was not a knot?
Correct.
Okay.
It is an E adjective.
All right. It is an E. E fellas, we do certain things to them. Takakata.
So remember, even though this is past tense, the 1st
Mhm.
thing that we're turning into Tef form, that doesn't change. It's only the last thing that determines it's all past tense.
Okay. I'm still
So it is
struggling to
just
get my
like
head
the last
around
sentence.
it. Okay. Takakute. Okay, I see. Yeah.
Yeah, so Takai becomes
Takakute.
Yep.
Why did it make sense to me last time, but not this time, even if it's the same word?
I don't know.
I don't know. And not delicious. Oishi jarimasen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
because it is an e adjective, right?
Oh, okay, okay.
It's got that e there.
Mm-hmm. Oishi, oish, oishkunakatta?
はい、美味しくなかった。
Oishkunakatta です。
はい、正解。OK、読んでください。
レストランは高、うわ高くておいしくなかったです。
はい、はい、レストランは高くて美味しくなかったです。
Okay.
All right. So, um, one thing that you'll notice here, at least in these past tense ones, or actually in all of these, I didn't talk about putting a not adjective the first one as the first one and negative,
Hmm.
and I wonder when I wonder when that'll get brought up in Akamonkai. So
Okay.
we'll leave that as a to be continued bit. Um,
Subtle foreshadowing, as they say.
yeah, hopefully they'll talk about it immediately in the what, I don't know, 18. But
I was gonna say like because there was someone commented at one point like when are we gonna talk about Tef form, and I'm like should I label this as the Tef form video or is there more to come?
there's a lot. There's a
Okay,
lot more to come.
like Tef
And
form
yeah,
part one,
yeah, adjective te form
Tef form
if you want.
introduction maybe, I don't know. Yeah,
I wouldn't even label it
not
that
even
way because
shoot.
like
Okay, Tef form
yeah, I just
adjectives.
put yeah because
Okay,
te form is usually when people say that they usually refer to verbs, conjugating verbs into te form.
okay. Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
if this man was asking, I'm sure he knew there's plenty here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
But anyway,
I just
continuing
assumed
on,
his
we're
gender
going
for the
to
record.
we're gonna be talking about some of our friends, and the
Okay.
thing that's gonna be a little bit different here is that we're gonna be using some of those like adjective phrases. So, like as an example, to describe someone's like height, we said like sega takai,
Hmm.
and if we were saying like someone's smart, it's like atama ga e, right? So we're
Mm.
just gonna be doing that, but functionally the same thing that we did up here with tet form.
Okay. I'm sure it'll make more sense once I do it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And these are all names at the start, right?
Hmm.
Okay. Kind and short hair. Te
Hmm.
Tata?
Teira. Hi.
Tata. Okay. Tata wa kind. This is what we went to the sheet for the first time, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Shoot. Where's my tab? Gotta pay my tab. I think I closed the tab, but I still have your link. Um, shoot. Shoot. Just a second. Kind. Shinsetsu.
Hi.
Itana. Eta wa Shinsetsu. What did we do?
What did we do?
Um, not adjectives. Not adjectives. There was just a de.
Yep.
Okay.
Just there.
Shinsetsu de. These are the phrases that you're talking about right here, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And to describe someone's like hair, we'd be like kami ga. So like kami is hair, right?
Mm-hmm.
So kami ga, and then short.
Is it the same word we would use for like small, like when we were describing Caesar?
No,
Okay.
because that is small.
All right. I was
This is
gonna say
short.
like, is there meaningful distinction between short and small? And I'm like, I think
Yeah.
there is. Uh, short. Um, short. YouTube Shorts. What is this word? Mijika. Mijikai?
Mijikai. Yep,
Mijikai.
mijikai.
Huh. I've not used this a lot. I don't think. I think not never. I think it's shown up, but not often. Mijikai. And then we don't have to do anything here. This phrase is itself because it's the second one, right? Well,
Yeah,
I guess it's
the
still
end
a
of the
part of this
sentence.
phrase. Okay. Kami ga mijikai this.
Hi. That's all.
Okay.
So yeah, this is just what I was referring to. So it's not just, you know, shinsetsu de mijikai desu, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
kami ga mijikai, right?
Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay. はい。読んでください。
はい。
全部。
テイラーは親切で髪が短いです。
はい。正解です。Okay. 次。
All right. Is this
I'm,
boo as the first character and n at the
yep.
end? All right.
Yeah.
It's coming together. Brandon.
Yep.
All right.
And I don't think, why did it not? I don't know if it's introduced the word for strong, but I feel like you might know it.
Hmm.
If not, I'll just
It'll
let you know.
probably hit me like a ton of strong breaks.
Yeah, it is tsuyoi.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've definitely heard that. Suyoi. And is that gonna be an E?
Looks like it ends in E.
It looks like it ends in E. Um Suyoi Suyokata.
Uh, it's the first one. So
Eh?
we need to make this like and.
Oh, I'm sorry. Tsuyo mm, just no, just a Tez the other fellas. Hold on. Can you scroll up on the right for me just a moment? Yeah. Okay. Um
It's just kute.
Kute.
So tsuyo kute.
Tsuyokute. Tsuyokute, comma, good at singing. Uta no jozu? That feels wrong. Um,
You're close, but
it's
yeah,
not no,
just
right?
slightly off. Right.
Um, good at. Hmm.
So it's that phrase thing that we did in that previous sentence.
Okay. With the ga. Kami ga mijika. Kami. We started with the hair. Uta ga jozu?
Right.
And this.
Yep. 正解です。Okay.
ブランドンは強くて歌が上手です。
Mm-hmm. All right. And our next sentence.
All right. First character is an A, right?
Yep.
Okay. Third character G?
Yep.
Okay. Angela
Mm-hmm.
wa. Is this first chunk now the phrase?
Yep.
Okay. And would Eiga Jozu make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And then we used short just a bit ago. what we were talking about short hair. Um,
Real quick, what do
yeah.
we need to do here?
We need a te in here. We need
Mm-hmm.
to te formalize this friend.
Yep.
What do I do when the phrase is first? Jozu. Okay.
So this is what we're modifying, right? Like,
Okay.
because it's just like I say this is a whole phrase because like we're saying more things than just Jozu,
Mhm.
right? It's just like this is how we would say they're good at painting, right?
Mhm.
But Jozu is still the thing that ultimately we are conjugating.
Okay. Zoo. Jo. Well, I guess Jozu itself is. Do we think of
Doesn't
that
end
as
in
a
e.
noun? I'm like, what part of speech is this?
Yeah, yeah, Jozu is an adjective.
Okay. Okay. Um. Okay. It's still an adjective. It's not. It's not an adjective. It's not a na adjective. Um.
Well, if it doesn't end in e, it's a not adjective,
Is that okay?
right?
Is that part of the flow? Is that so?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
pretty much it.
All right.
There's, some exceptions to that, but ultimate like for the most part, if it ends in e, it's probably an e adjective. If it doesn't end in e, it's a not adjective.
Okay. 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 I
Yeah, when it comes
understand
to
now.
adjectives, if it does not end in e, it is definitely a not
It is
adjective.
definitely
I should say that.
don't think
Yeah.
twice. Okay. All right. So this fella's a na. Uh and it's not negative, right? It's just a na.
Yeah.
Then just te.
ちょっと違います。
Eh? Uh
Slightly wrong.
D sound.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just de. I probably need to put this on the next line.
All right.
And then
Um
short.
Miji
Oop.
Mijika this?
Yeah, there's a height is another one of those things where we have to phraseify it, and
Mm.
height is a se.
Oh, this is where the Sega bit came in before.
Yeah.
Um with does the order because we're just we would not do Sega as a whole here, right? It would just be se and then the word Mijika and then ga.
So um okay, so maybe let me take a moment to explain what ga is doing here. I'm
Okay,
gonna actually bring out the it identifies the subject point again.
okay,
The reason why we're using ga here is because it is used to identify the subject. The way that is distinguished between the topic is like in this cases, think of it as like um uh just like a if you had like a drop down menu, you know what I mean? It like
hmm
you would click on like Anjira and a drop down menu would pop up and you have like as a
okay,
subject, right? It's a part of them. But the topic here is still talking about Angela, but we're now specifying we're referring to their height. Okay.
okay,
That is what the ga here is doing. It's identifying that we're now specifying the height of that person or um sorry. And we'll use kami ga mijikai, okay,
okay,
in this first sentence. So our topic is teira, but to specify that we're now talking about their hair, because we would not say teira no kami,
hmm
the ga here is used to identify the hair bit. So it's a teira wa kami ga mijikai. The ga here is specifying that we're now referring to their hair.
okay. So
So
Jozu.
similar to everything that we've done here, where we
hmm
needed to do that like specifying bit. This
So
one
we're
would
like
just
we're
be like
drawing.
ga.
Okay,
Yeah, and
but
with
why is se coming first? Wouldn't the
se is height.
Say is height. Okay, okay.
Yeah,
I
say on its own is just height.
I see. Okay. I was confused here. I thought like Sega was like a phrase that had to sandwich the
Gotcha.
okay.
Yeah. The ga here is the same ga as in all of these other sentences.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And for height specifically, we actually wouldn't use mijikai. We'd use hikui.
Hikui.
So I'll
Okay.
just put that out here. Kui. And then just to finish things off, what would we need here?
And just a des.
Yep.
Okay, so
Okay.
se is like the concept of height. Ga is indicating we are now talking about height. And then hikui is what we would actually use for short.
Yes.
Okay.
Because, yeah, by the end of it, we're not saying Angela is short. We're like, Angela's height is short.
Okay.
Right?
Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay. And now if you could say all of that for me.
Sure. Angela wa e ga jouzu desu. Se ga hikui desu.
Yeah, just be careful. No deaths in the middle of it.
Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. If you like that. I see a
Yeah.
little swear.
I
You
mean,
know, I don't think I've brought this up verbally, but would you mind if you wouldn't mind entertaining me for a moment? Could you pull up a Goodwill logo for me?
you just want me to look at it or put it
Yeah,
on the
just pull it
screen?
up. Pull it up. Visually, I don't think Goodwill Corporation or whatever will get mad if we put it on stream. Just put it up side by side with a Sue for me. Yeah, you see a little face over here by him in the corner of the frame. That's the Sue.
Okay.
You see him? You see him? I'm not crazy.
Okay.
I'm not crazy. Um,
To me, this looks like Ta, but
does it?
like, here, let me pull this back over.
Yeah, because
Like,
it looks like a dude's like eye while he's wearing like a top hat is what I'm seeing. Just the right side of his face, like the curve, and then we got the eyeball, and then we got like a top hat out of frame, but the border makes start at the top hat. And when I see there like around him, around the Goodwill guy, I'm like, it's this. Don't think about it.
I cannot follow any of
No.
that.
I'll make a separate video. Like it'll be like the mailroom bit from It's Always Sunny. I'll explain it. Carol will be there. She'll
Okay.
understand.
Yeah, I'll need you to draw that one out after we wrap all this up. Because, like, to
Okay.
me, this looks like the character, like, Katakana Ta. Like, if the white
Ta
bits
as in
were
top hat. Like you're looking at the
the
negative space.
yeah.
Oh, that's a whole.
Okay.
Well, we can write an essay on the Goodwill logo's influence on Japanese character design.
Yeah. Coming to theaters near you.
Get ready, pre-order now.
Okay. Anyway, and
Anyway, shoot.
for our final sentence here.
All right. So we had Anjira before,
hmm
and this starts fairly similar. Also an
hmm
angelic individual, I would imagine. But let me go through the
Yeah.
full. We have An, and then He.
Yep. Yeah, head's the same in
Okay.
both hiragana and katakana, so that's convenient.
Okay. Anheru. You know what? I'm like, how does that make a G sound? But I guess, different languages, different rules, even if they're the same word, it's weird. Uh they're all angels. Everyone on this list is a perfect angel. Um Anheru
Sonotori. Yep.
wa ta what am I doing this? What am I
What are you doing here? Because we're talking about
Uh,
their height,
yeah.
right?
Oh, should I treat this different? Cause I'm just coming in and I'm wanting to do Takai, but maybe based off of
That'll be part of it.
yeah, I was gonna say based off of the exercise before that, would I not use Takai, or is that still what I'm want to work with?
Yeah, we'll still use Takai.
Okay. Um. Tak. How did we do this when we were talking about cost? Um.
So yeah, E
Mm-hmm.
just kute. E
Takakute.
is kute.
Okay.
Yeah.
Takakute. And it's not any different from the previous operations, if you would. Okay.
We do need to do something here though
All right.
before takakute because we're talking about their
Before
height.
Takakute. Um. Because we're talking about height, would we do Seiga?
Height.
Okay.
Okay.
And
And then
then
smart.
smart. We would not use omoshiroi like that. Interesting and smart slash funny are different, right?
Yeah, smart is not interesting slash funny.
Okay. There's nothing funny about his brain, fellas.
I think this was introduced
Oh yeah, this
yesterday.
was like good headed, right?
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Atamai,
Tama.
and then we would it ends in e. It's an e adjective, right? That's end of story.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Um.
it's not the word. It's not a single word.
Mhm.
It's not like atamai is not the word,
Oh.
right? Those two bits are separate. It's
Okay.
head
Okay.
and good, right?
Okay.
So with that in mind, what would we probably need here
Okay.
before
Then
e?
it would then be a na because it's atama that we're dealing with.
No.
No. Okay.
What have we been doing so far
Um.
with the same idea? That we're like basically describing their head.
Oh. Oh. Okay. Okay. We're putting the ga there to denote it as the.
Yeah.
Okay. Um. Okay. Atama ga, and that do we then use e in that same way to mean smart?
Yep.
Okay.
Hmm.
Atama ga e des.
Hi.
Okay.
Okay, 読んでください。
はい。アンヘルは背が高くて、yeah? That
Mm-hmm.
feels weird to me somehow. 高くて、頭がいいです。
はい。で、アンヘルは背が高くて頭がいいです。
Hmm.
All right. Those are all the ones that we have here. This is a like thankfully the conjugation itself as like stepwise is very very simple. It just comes down to a matter of, remembering what you need to do. This is kind of like one of those things where like it's really good if you have a base familiarity with things with like learning the things that come before this so that
Mm-hmm.
you can just build on it because like at this point we want to make sure that we're getting pretty good at knowing what category of word something is. So like knowing what words are e-adjectives, knowing what words are non-adjectives, right? Because then if we're already familiar with that, we just need to do one extra step or something like that. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Instead of
Because there's going
stepping
to
through
be
the
a lot of
whole
this.
process.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's going to be a lot more stuff that's like this where you build on previous foundations. And stuff like this is just things that you kind of need to drill through.
Hmm.
Um, it just takes some practice, and but you know, it's a process. So, but yeah, once again, I just kind of want to illustrate that we can say, a bunch of different things about descriptions, or like we can describe people, things, whatever, in a lot of different ways. Um, and we'll just continue adding to that. I wish that this was, well, I guess technically they wouldn't have introduced past tense at this point yet.
Mm.
But yeah, not too much else going on in here. We're just talking about the adjectives, and it's just these handful of rules. We just need to put them together in the right order. I feel
Okay.
like this is probably the like the ga adjective bit is probably one of the things to kind of get used to because it works a little bit differently than how we say it in English, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I feel like that's one of those things that you just end up learning about as you go on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's not always a hard fast rule that explains everything as soon as you learn it. You just kind of like, oh, that's how they say it,
Mm-hmm.
kind of a
Like
thing.
this is the way to express this thought.
Yeah. Yep. But yeah, that's pretty much all we have here for today. Did you have any questions or wanted to clarify anything for what we were saying before, or anything about the rules for
I
now?
think I think things make sense. I think you're right. I think it's just a matter of drilling through it and building the familiarity with it. But I think when following the rules, things click.
Cool.
All right.
Glad to hear. Then with that being the case, we'll probably go ahead and end it here.
All right. Very good. Thank you, folks, for listening. You wanna hit them with a tadaimi?
Tadaima?
Yeah, a nice tie dye
This
me.
day. I mean,
Like me, but like with
I'm
a
back.
nice shirt, you know?
Maybe we'll start saying that at the beginning of episodes, because Tadaima means I'm home. I've
Oh shoot,
returned.
what am I what am I doing? What am I doing with
We'll hit
myself?
him with a matane.
Yeah, I'm a tanny. Like me, but like tan and like holding up a little E. Yeah. My tan E.
Minasan.
Alright, bye
Ai,
bye.
matane. Bye bye.
Matane.